Well, after all this time, I think we have to talk. My name is Tanguy and I'm the guy behind the ultimate chess game. Over the past year, I've been creating a lot, but I haven't had the opportunity to talk to you directly. And now, at this state of the account, I feel like it's the right timing for me. And also, I feel like I need to actually talk to you.
Okay, this guy still doesn't know how to make an introduction, but the video will be divided into chapters covering different topics. He will first give you an overview of the beginning of the project, then talk about the various difficulties that arose, and finish with the future of the account. Okay, back to the video.
I launched the ultimate chess game during the last few months of my studies. It happened in February and I finished in July. And I was also doing some freelance missions on the side. So the accounts blew up in like 10 days. I just launched it and 10 days later I had 40,000 followers. So I really didn't expect it, and I had to adapt my rhythm to this new load of work that I just had. Because every video requires quite a lot of work. I would say that the shortest one would require probably, I'd say 1 hour and a half, if the movement is kind of easy, if there's no transformation, and if everything is going well. And the hardest one, if I have to do like a transformation or something, I would say that it can range quite high. I've probably already spent like 6 or 7 hours on one video. So yeah, it's been a lot of work. And regarding the actual working hours, so here when I post my videos in France, it's at 6:30 p.m. Then I wait for players to vote, and I get the results around, I would say like 9:30 p.m., something like this. And then I can start working on the video. So I will work from 9:30, 10 p.m. to whatever time I finish at, usually around midnight to probably 1 a.m., something like this. And then when I wake up the next day, I have to do the video editing, sound design, and then post it at 6:30 p.m. So it's kind of a never-ending cycle where every day I finish a video, I post it, I wait a few hours, and then I have to create another one. And so after a year, I have created over 200 videos. And at this exact point of time, I have to say that I'm a bit tired because the rhythm has been hard to keep up with. And I didn't expect the account to blow up so fast. So I just was taken into this new adventure, and I had to adapt my lifestyle to it also. So for example, if I went out with friends and I would go back home at like 11 p.m., then after that, I had to just make my videos. Even if I was tired, even if it was hard, I had to make this video because I wanted to post it the next day at 6:30 p.m. So it became kind of a routine, and actually it's something that I absolutely love doing. I love creating something, and if I don't create something during the day, I feel like I haven't done enough. I feel like I have wasted some time. And in every video, I try to make it as unique as I can, try to come up with new ideas, even if it's not easy, because after 200 videos, there can be some repetitions. But I try, to always go a step further. In this second season, for example, I try to bring a lot more personality to the characters, because I feel like it's something that lacked during the first season. And I always try to create something new and to give you the best content I possibly can come up with in such a short amount of time, because I have less than 24 hours to create every video. I'm really proud of all this work that I've done, and hopefully you guys also enjoy it, because to be honest, this is what has been fueling me over the past year, seeing that I have been able to create something that resonated with people all around the world. You are literally everywhere, like in the US, like Argentina, Chile. We have people all around Europe, Great Britain, Germany, France, Northern Africa, Asia, Australia, or literally everywhere. And this is the first time that I create something, that I launch a project that has such a wide audience, and it's such a blessing being able to create in front of so many people. And it's really great to see that people behind their screens are actually enjoying the things that I just come up with in my mind. Yeah, it's really a blessing, and I'm really proud of having created something like this. Before the account, I was just posting on my personal Instagram account, and I think my most viewed video had like 6,000 views, and it was already huge for me. It was really huge. Imagine putting 6,000 people in front of like a stadium. Now you can play a good basketball game or something like this and have a real crowd chanting. And here, with the Ultimate Chess Game, the most viewed video has over 4 million views. So imagining 4 million people in the same place, it's actually really hard for the human mind, so I don't even have a real sense of what it represents. Okay, so now this was the bright part. Now for the less bright part. As I've said, now I'm a bit tired after creating a lot over the past year. The rhythm has become hard for me to maintain, and as you've probably seen during the past few weeks, I didn't keep up with the rhythm of creating one video every 24 hours. I'm doing everything from 3D animation to sound design to video editing to community management, etc. So I have seen that it's a lot for one person to handle, and I don't want to burn myself out. I can see that at this exact point of time, well, my creativity has gone a bit down. I'm less motivated. So this is why I'm also taking a few breaks in between videos, because I don't want to rush things. I don't want to force myself too much, because I want it to stay a real pleasure. I want to keep this pleasure of creating, and I don't want it to become a burden for me. So this will lead us to another part of the video where I'll talk about the different fails that I have actually gone through with this account. Because as I've said, I've been spending a lot of time, I've been putting a lot of effort in the videos, but I've also been putting some effort outside the videos to try and actually monetize this work that I do. Because my goal and my ambition would be to actually being able to make a living out of a project like this. However, I still haven't figured out a way to do it. And at this exact point of time, I'm still not earning money from it. So I have tried, and you have probably seen it on the account. In September, I launched a pre-order campaign to try and sell the first figurines from season 1 that I actually have right behind me. So yeah, you have all 4 of them. You have the Ghost Fortress. Well, there's my black screen, but you have the Ghost Fortress. It looks really, really good. Huh? I absolutely love these figurines. You have like Titan Knight. I love him also. Terror Fortress. And you have Terror Titan King. So to create this, I worked with a supplier in China. So I had to, I spent some time trying to find a good supplier. I met some of them, and I ended up working with this supplier in China. My ambition was to create these first 4 figurines and try and sell them. However, there were a few problems along the way. First of all, if you want to create a figurine like this, molds are extremely expensive. So, for example, the mold for Terror Titan King would have cost over like $13,000. And for all the other figurines, it ranged between, I think, $5,000 and $10,000. So it's a lot of money. And this is why I tried to do a pre-order campaign to actually finance the creation of the molds. But the thing was that to finance it, I had either to sell lots of figurines or I had to bring the price up. And so this is why the prices of the figurines ranged from $39 to $69. And the crazy thing is that even with this pricing, my margins were like 0, if not negative. Like I didn't know if I would actually earn some money if I sold 500 models of each figurines, which is quite crazy actually. And what I haven't told you also is that to create the molds, there's a minimum amount of order you have to make with the supplier, and this minimum amount of order was 500. So unfortunately, I wasn't able to sell as many figurines as I had to finance the molds and to launch the production. And this is why I just had to refund all of you. And I'm really sorry because I would have wanted this project to go further. I would have loved to actually deliver the figurines to you guys. But yeah, with all of these factors, it proved to be impossible. I have a community, but selling such a big amount of figurines, it's hard work. And I think I overestimated the amount of figurines that I could sell. And if I really wanted to do it seriously, I think I would have had to contact a lot more companies, probably contact some distributors that would be able to buy some stock. And because I was alone, and because during all this time of coming up with these figurines, creating, working with the supplier, etc., I still had to keep this rhythm of creating one video every 24 hours. So it wasn't an easy task, and I didn't have as much time as I wanted to do the task that I had to do outside of video creation because videos were taking so much time. It's a field that I didn't know anything about, but I just tried and learned. I don't know if some of you have already done something like this. Probably it's a high price, maybe it's a low price, I don't know. With the research I have made, I saw that the prices of molds are always extremely high, so I don't think that this was normal. So yeah, just so you know, this project was a lot of work, and I wanted it to be a surprise in my communication. Like, I just worked on it without actually telling you about it. And before the beginning of season 2, I said that these first figurines were going to be for sale, but I think my communication could have been a lot better. However, it was my first time doing it, so I didn't know much, and I just learned the hard way. But yeah, so my goal was to start monetizing the account through the sales of figurine at the beginning of season 2. And unfortunately, a few weeks after, I realized that it wouldn't be possible and that this project wouldn't work. And I have to say that this was a bit of a hard time for me. It was the beginning of season 2. Every day, every 24 hours, I had to come up with a new video with new ideas, etc. I had this project that was failing, and still at the same time I had to continue having some good energy and coming up with new ideas every day. And so I was just in this never-ending cycle, and it's hard to just take a step back when you always have to work like this. And so I was going through it, even if it was hard, even if it was, I also felt less motivated because it was a failure actually. But yeah, I just wanted to keep going, and I wanted to find a backup solution. And the backup solution that emerged was to 3D print my own figurines. This was a new field that also I didn't know anything about. So I just started to do some research. I also met a guy that has like a 3D printing farm. He has lots of 3D printers. And a week later, I bought my first ever printer. It was the Bambu Lab A1 Mini. And I started making some experiments, trying to print my own figurines. So for me, this appeared to be a great solution because I didn't have to actually finance some extremely expensive molds, and I could create without depending on an outside supplier. And so I started printing batches, making some tests with the different settings, trying to work around with my 3D models to adapt them to 3D printing. And after all this work, and after kind of lots of failures, I started to have some good results. So yeah, you'll see that I have a few of them here. I have Big Pwn. It is black screen, we can't see anything. I have the Big Pwn. I have him in a smaller format also. I have, what do I have? I have the Big Pwn with his big head like this. I have this giant Megapwn, which is probably one of my favorite figurines. I also have this Terra Titan King, and the quality is really impressive. Actually, I'm really impressed with the way 3D printing works out, and I'm a 3D animator, and so having some 3D skills and being able to just imagine something and then create a real object out of it, it's a really pretty awesome feeling. I have this double pwn also. I have this ghost fortress right there. I really like this one. So after these few weeks or probably a few months of iteration, I wanted to start and just sell my 3D prints on my website. And the first idea I had was to dedicate the first collection to Big Pwn. And so this is why I came up with these first three prints, like just showed them before, but Big Pwn with his muscle, Big Pwn with his big head, and the Wiggle 1 edition. But there's another problem. It's that I'm based in France, and most of you guys aren't in France. You are pretty much everywhere in the world. And so the price of shipping is expensive. For example, if I have to ship to the US, it will cost $33, which is a lot of money. So the actual solution of 3D printing my own figurines and selling them on my website, it also proved not being a sustainable model for me. And also it would add a lot of work for me because I would have to take care of the actual printing. If you are a 3D printer, you know that you always have some kind of fails or some things you have to fix. So it's a real job that takes a big part of your head. So I launched the campaign, but deep down I knew that this model probably wasn't, at this exact point of time, wasn't the right one for me. And so now this leads us to this moment where I'm sitting just in front of you. And I have to say that after a year of creating so much and trying so much, I have to say that I'm a bit lost because the account takes a lot of my time and it's a bit stressful not finding a way to actually get money off of it and not having a salary at the end of the month. I have to say that it's a bit stressful. So what I want to do is I really don't want to give up on this project because my ambition is to continue and develop it. And for a more global ambition, I really want to create something that brings people together. And this is probably the closest I've ever been to creating something like this. I think the big difference between other content creators and the content I create is that I don't get any money from it because Instagram doesn't pay you for the amount of views that you make. And on TikTok, I don't have a big audience. I have like 6,000 followers and not a lot of people watch the videos. And also regarding the actual content, every video takes a lot of effort. And so it's hard to maintain this rhythm over a long amount of time. So now at this exact moment, I think what would be good for me is to continue and try to develop this project, but doing it part-time and probably finding a job on the side would be a good thing for me because it would bring me more stability, more security, and also a more stable rhythm. So yeah, after all this time and after over a year of creating videos and putting so much of myself into each videos, I felt like it was, I needed just to talk to you and give you the information that probably you didn't have just watching the videos. And I really don't want to sound like I'm complaining or anything. Everything that has happened is really awesome and I never expected to create something like this. But just everything that came with it, the workload, etc., it was a lot. I started this project a year ago and it can sound like it's a lot of time. But actually, a year isn't extremely long. And I think there's so much more that I can do with this project. And also with the way chess is evolving, you see chess being in the esports World Cup, etc. I think that probably I have a role to play. I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating what I'm creating. Maybe it's just some silly videos, but I really want to believe that there's something bigger behind it. This is where we are today. Just wanted to clarify things and just tell you also out of respect why videos aren't posted every 24 hours now. Starting a YouTube channel has also been something on my bucket list. I want to share about all the things I have learned, whether it's 3D animation, probably also 3D printing, yeah, lots of things, designed, everything I'm passionate about. I also want to answer more questions that you sent during the Q&A. I answered some of them during the video, but a lot of you wanted to know where the idea came from, etc. So yeah, I have a bunch of stuff that I want to do, but it's true that this rhythm of one video every 24 hours made everything harder because I had such a big workload to manage every day that the amount of time that I had left to do the rest was quite limited. Regarding the actual chess pieces and the high shipping costs that I talked about earlier, well, I have uploaded some 3D models on Thangs, which is a platform on which you can buy the 3D models of the figurine and just print them yourselves. So this would be a way to overcome the high shipping costs. So if this is something that you want, I have made it. So yeah, you can download some of them in the description. You will find different plans. Some of them are the basic plans and some of them are the commercial ones. So with these ones, you can get a commercial license and start selling your own figurines. And this is, I think, something that's also important for the account and the project. It's that right now I'm working alone, but in the future, I think that I will need some partners and some partnerships. So if you're interested in collaborating, helping in any way, well, I'm extremely open to it. The account is community-based, so it's also logical for me to try and continue and develop it through the community that we started to build together. So yeah, just to wrap up this video, I just want to thank you again for the great support you have been giving me over the past year. It's by far the biggest project I have ever come up with. Hopefully I can continue and develop it and bring it somewhere that's sustainable for me to maintain. But I really don't want to give up. I really want to continue. And I think we have created something great together. And yeah, I guess we just have to continue and try to do as much as we can to bring this project as far as we can. So I think the best way to wrap this thing up would be to say,
May the best win.